This is my Unit 6 research project by Thomas. Question asked. What are the broader effects of robbery and how preventable and restorable justice can promote a positive outcome? Main objectives to find out about robbery, to find out all the different types of robbery there are, to find out the cost of robbery, find out the broader effects of robbery, find out the statistics of robbery and what's happening, the different case studies and articles of robbery. Okay. There are different types of robbery that happen in the UK. There are four main ones. The first one's unarmed robbery. Oh, that's all right. Unarmed robbery is a form of robbery where a weapon is not used to take possessions of somebody. The next type of robbery is armed robbery, where a weapon such as a knife or a gun could be used to take possessions of a person. The next type of robbery, the third type of robbery, is called bank robbery. And that is what you see in the movies happening all the time, where somebody goes into a bank to take money or gold and that. And then the last type is aggravated, where violence is used. So somebody's punched or smacked around and then their stuff is taken. It's similar to armed robbery. Those are all the types of robbery there are. Cost of robbery. These are the different costs for, this was taken from the Home Office. This is handout 1, taken from the Home Office. And this will talk about how much that they think each robbery would cost, the consequences, the response, and then the total unit cost. So it will times the total unit cost by how many robberies there are to find out an estimated total cost of that crime, what comes up at £2.2 billion. Broader effects of robbery. There are lots of different effects when it comes to robbery, such as feeling vulnerable, scared, and can lead to needing therapy and rehabilitation, as well as robbery as a cost to it, such as thousands of pounds worth of items off the person. Community. Robbery has an effect on the community, as it makes everybody feel scared in that community to go out and socialise and do things together, so that can keep people in and make them feel scared. The offender. There's always effects on the offender, such as when people have committed robberies in the future and in the past, they will get assaulted. Some have been killed, like the case with the guy who went in with a screwdriver, tried to rob the old guy, and he got stabbed with it and died. So robbery can have a bad effect on the offender. How am I suitably qualified to complete the proposed research? I'm suitably qualified to carry out this research for a number of different reasons. One, because I'm the same age of the people that are getting to fill out the survey, so I can relate to them better than a person who's old. Number two, I have done other research projects in the past with other forms of crime, such as speeding. Number three, I have been DBS checked, so that I can work with people that are younger than me and the same age. What skills and knowledge will I gain while completing this proposed research? I will gain knowledge about crime and robbery in my area and nationally. The skills that I will be learned will be making better questions and finding the right questions to ask people that are still ethical, how to deal with robbery and its effects, and find solutions to stop and reduce it in certain areas. This is the robbery statistics in Cambridge. So in my area there is none, but the nearest city that I go into a lot, Cambridge, you see that there was 10 robberies just in October. So that's one every 3 days. So it definitely needs to be cut down. And that is in handout 2. The aims and objectives of the proposed project. The first aim is to find out with the survey if people have been or seen robbery happen. The second aim is to see how it's affected them and the time off work or not sleeping properly. The third aim is to see if they got the right support from people like victim support or the police. The fourth aim is to find out what they think the best way to lower robbery is in Cambridge. How long will the research last? From November to January, I'll have the proposal done. From January to the beginning of February to finish the survey for the students. February to March to collect all the results and hand them out. March to April, analyse results and come up with a solution. April to May, make any changes that are needed to get ready to hand in. May, hand in the completed assignment. What are the ethical issues that surround this project? There are a few ethical concerns when it comes to every project, but these are mine. The first ethical consent would be informed consent, getting everybody to sign that before I upload anything about them, their information. The second ethical concern is a question, as their questions have to be respectful so they don't offend anybody. The third will be asking if they want to be anonymous, so you can have your information used, but at the end of it, you always want to ask if you can use their name or if they're all right with doing that. But if they don't, they could always become anonymous. What is the rationale for the proposed question? Sue is being robbed, and the impact it has on them. This is because there are thousands of cases of robbery that happen each year that has a serious toll on people physically and mentally, as well. That robbery has gone up by over 10% in this country annually because of gangs like moped gangs and other gangs in London as well. Robbery that has happened in Cambridge, as there are 10 robberies alone in October. What is the hypothesis? That there are ways to prevent or cut the amount of robberies that happen in the UK each year through methods like stronger laws or more police officers that deal in robbery. The style of research that I will be using will be SurveyMonkey because it is easy to set up. I can just send it into an email from anybody, don't have to waste any paper, so helping their environment. And they can always send me the email back and I can see absolutely everything that they answered, and I get statistics at the end of it, so it'll make it easier to analyse. Facts about the proposed research, such as numbers, group, participants and resources. Police robbery saw an 11% increase, 8 to 88,000. All of the groups that so the people that I can use are all the groups on uniform services will be open to research, so I will have about 200 plus students. I'll try to use higher level, more mature students. The resources that will be used is SurveyMonkey to collect information and data from people's answers. The data will be used at the analysis at the end. How I will collect the data that I collect. All of the data results will come from the answers from the SurveyMonkey, as I'll try and get as much people to fill it in. After everybody's completed the survey, you can go on the site and find all of the results and get charts and percentages of the answers. After getting all of the results, then I can find any correlation with the answers from the participants, then I can make analyses from the results. The first way that I will make this research project reliable, is that I'll be using a specific age range of people so it doesn't become skewed. The second type that I will make this reliable is I get more mature students to fill it out so I don't get unusual answers that don't add up. Another way that the project will be reliable and have validity is to have questions that ordinary people can answer so they know what they are answering. What am I going to do to control the variables you may encounter? The biggest variable that I'll have is people, but will have a problem with students actually completing it, so I can always go to the classroom and check and ask tutors if they don't mind their student filling it out, so getting students to actually do it instead of. Another variable will be that I might have a few that aren't completed and half filled in, and they'll just be discarded because there's no point in using half filled out surveys. I will discard the surveys that haven't been done correctly or with stupid answers. Restorative justice with victims of robbery case study. So this was my case study, one of my case studies where restorative justice actually worked. In 1999, on September 4th, a lady, as you can see there, was robbed at knife point at a cash machine. After that, she was left scared and vulnerable, and she didn't want to go out, and she didn't want to go to work. After the incident, a few months later, the criminal was caught and sent to prison for armed robbery. And then a few months later, after that, she saw that there was a justice program for victims where she could go and see her offender. And she said by doing that, she saw the criminal, and it just made her feel so much better because she could talk to him, she could relate to him, she found out things that people wouldn't have missed, like how he was in serious poverty. With his case studies, it shows restorative justice help victims get over their crime that was committed against them and gives them a closure, as well shows the criminal who they have hurt and made feel vulnerable. That's the other thing, is he saw what she felt like afterwards and what it did to her, and he said that he changed her as well. Article 1. Robberies in England and Wales are increasing more than any other developed country, as well as it stated that robbery is a gateway into violent crime. So with the increase in robbery can turn into other crimes as well. As you can see, look, England and Wales going up, and then all the other countries are decreasing. And that is in my handout 3, as you can see. Case study. Here's another case study of robbery and how they did change their ways to stop it. A shop in Manchester was robbed twice in 11 years, and then the store was taken over by Co-op. When Co-op took over, they removed the security screen and they had 10 armed robberies in 5 years. And after this, 3 store assistants suffered post-traumatic stress disorder. To deal with this, Co-op brought in measures such as CCTV, panic alarms, and keeping less money in the tills. And because of this, Co-op never got robbed again, because of the measures that were put in place to stop that happening. These are my references. There's 1, there's 2, there's my handouts, and thank you very much.